Hi friends! Today I wanted to talk to you about a science word that we've learned in class before, and I don't know if you remember this word or when we used it in class. Do you remember the word absorb? Do you remember that word, absorb? Absorb is a special science word that we've learned in class before. We learned that word when we were talking about Orbeez. Do you remember the Orbeez in our class? They start out as little teeny tiny little tiny balls that are very hard. It's hard to cut them or crunch them or squish them. But when they get into water and they absorb the water, they grow big. To absorb means that something is sucking up water and it's taking it inside of it. That's what absorb means. So we learned that word in class, and I wanted to see if I could find anything in my house that would absorb water. And I'm going to do a little experiment, and you guys can try this at home too. If you have just a bowl or a cup of water, and you find some things around your house that mom and dad says it's okay to get them wet, you could try and see if they absorb water. If they absorb the water, that means they suck it up and the water goes inside of them and it's on that thing. But if they don't absorb water, then there's no water inside of it. That just means that the water can't get inside of it. Let's try and see if we can find some things that absorb water. Let's go. All right, so I found some things that I thought might absorb water, and we're gonna test this out and see what can absorb in the water. There's some water in here. We're gonna see what absorbs the water and what does not like to absorb water. We have a sponge over here. I have a little piece of tin foil, and I have, this is like a cloth napkin, kind of like it feels like a t-shirt. Here's a screwdriver. This is a bottle cap from a lid from a bottle that I had. This is a piece of a ripped paper towel. And here I have an old receipt, like from the store. Your mom and dad might have some of these around that are garbage. So I'm gonna stick all of these into the water and see what absorbs the water. What do you think is going to absorb? What do you think it's gonna suck up some water and get it inside of it? Do you think that the sponge is gonna touch the water and water will get on it? Do you think that water will go onto the tin foil and it'll absorb it? How about the napkin or the screwdriver or the lid or the receipt or the paper towel? What kind of things do you think will absorb water? What kind of things will suck the water inside of them? Let's test it out and see. First, I'm going to stick the sponge in. I'm just have a little bit, so I'm going to stick it in there. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It absorbed right up. And the water is actually going up farther and farther. That was very cool. It's absorbing the water very fast and it's getting all on the sponge. So yes, the sponge did absorb it. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try the piece of tin foil. Do you think this is going to absorb water and suck it inside of it? I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's not very soft. Let's put it in there. Well, I can see that it likes to float. It's not sinking, but floating and sinking isn't the same as absorbing. Absorbing is different. It's not getting very heavy and it's not getting on any water on it. It's not really absorbing. So I don't think tin foil can absorb water. So that one's on the no side. We'll put it over here. I'm going to say no on that one and yes on the sponge over here. Let's try this napkin. Do you think this will absorb it? Let's see. Is it getting wet? Oh, look at that. Look how fast that absorbed it. We know that Orbeez takes so long to absorb water, but this guy just soaked it all up. Now it's soaking wet. If I want to, I can kind of squeeze the water out. That's how I know if something is absorbed, if I can squeeze the water back out of it. Wow, that absorbed a lot of water. So this one is yes. That one was in the yes pile. Good job, napkin. How about this guy? This bottle cap. Do you think it will absorb any water? Let's see. It sank down to the bottom, and it's not really getting wet or heavy. It's not really soaking up any water. It got like a few water drops on there, but it's not really absorbing water. I don't think water can be soaked up into this. I don't think it could suck up water if it wanted to. Okay, so that one's a no in the no pile. How about this receipt? Do you think this will absorb some water? I'm not sure, because paper, this kind of paper is a little bit hard. It's like it's making a crunchy sound. I don't know if it'll absorb water. Let's try it. It's getting water on it, but I don't know if the water is going inside of the paper. It's going on top of it, but absorb means that the water is going through it on the inside of it. Oh, I think it is doing it. I think it is doing it right there. It just takes a little bit longer because this is a special kind of paper that does not like the water very much. But if I let it stay in there for a long time, oh, I think it would absorb the water. Yes, it's doing it a little bit right there. This was a tricky one. I did not think this was going to absorb water, but it does. So there's water inside of it. I can tell it's all wet now. So it did absorb the water, it just took a little longer. That was cool. And I could squeeze a little bit of water out of it too. Oh, there it goes. So that one's a yes. Yes pile. Ooh, how about this screwdriver? This part is a little bit squishy, the handle part, and this part's not squishy, it's hard and pokey. Let's see if it absorbs water. I can see that it's getting a little bit wet on it, but I wonder if the water is going inside or through it. Do you think any water is getting inside here? It's staying hard. It's not getting squishy. I don't think the water is going through. I'm gonna say no. No, screwdriver, sorry. You don't absorb water. You're in the no pile. What about this guy? Do you think this is gonna absorb water? Let's try it and see. If it's gonna absorb, if you think yes, it's gonna absorb, do you think it's gonna absorb fast or slow? Okay, let's find out if it goes fast or slow, or if it doesn't absorb water. Let's see. Wow, look at that. It is absorbing water, and you can see the water creeping up to the top. And there it goes. The whole thing is absorbed. It got all the way soaked in water. It's all the way wet. Okay, so this one's a yes. Yes pile. This one does absorb. Okay, so we got lots of yeses and a few nos, and now we know about things that absorb water. Very good job, guys. I hope you liked that experiment. Do you think you guys can find things around your house that absorb water? Absorbing is not the same as getting wet. Lots of things can get wet. Even we people can get wet, like when we take a bath or when we take a shower or play in the pool, our skin gets wet, but it doesn't absorb water. When my arm goes in the pool, it gets all wet on the outside, but the water doesn't go onto the inside of my skin. If it did, that would be absorbing. Just like the sponge in the paper towel, the water went all the way through it on the inside. But like the tinfoil and the screwdriver, the water just got them wet on the outside. It didn't go all the way through and get them wet on the inside. That's what makes absorbing different. So go on around your house and see what you can find that will absorb some water. You could get a little bowl or a cup to get some water, anything will do. And ask your mom and dad first what they're allowed to get wet. And then you can try absorbing things in your house. I hope you liked this, guys. Let's do some more fun science later, all right? I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.